Hello there,
General Kenobi.
and welcome to another episode of the Prequel Gang Podcast, the show where we talk about movies completely unscripted. Today we're talking about Star Wars Episode 6, Return of the Jedi.
Yeah. We are, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
So, anyway, this is the third movie of the original trilogy, and what should have been the conclusion of the series, well, story-wise, of course, we would have the prequels, but, then, Star Wars got bought out by Disney.
They absolutely had to do the sequels, didn't they?
Yeah, Disney had to buy out Star Wars and, get the sequels made and everything, but whatever.
Yeah. Are we going to do a PGP on the sequels at all?
No!
Of course not. Yeah.
I mean, maybe in the distant future, but not
very
now.
distant. Very distant.
Yeah, we're not doing that anytime soon. Anyway, but back to the good Star Wars movies. Return of the Jedi. It starts with Darth Vader on one of his battleships, and he's introducing the Emperor, Emperor Palpatine, of course.
Oh yeah, that's right.
And basically, he's saying that you should be careful. He's not the Emperor isn't as forgiving as Darth Vader is. Meanwhile, they're building a new Death Star, which this one looks a bit more incomplete than the original Death Star. So.
Yeah, it's basically the same thing, but they haven't finished it yet.
Yeah, basically it's the same thing, but it looks a bit
broken.
broken.
It's meant to look like.
What?
What? It's meant to look like it's incomplete.
Okay.
That battle station's operational. It's a trap.
Alright, well, we'll get to that. So then, the Emperor comes in, and, they talk a little bit, and, then we go to, Tatooine, where we see C-3PO and R2-D2 going to Jabba's house, supposedly to deliver a message to Jabba from Luke Skywalker, and they go in.
Wait, no, first, Leia goes there.
No, Leia goes after.
Okay.
Yeah, Leia goes after. So, anyway, C-3PO and R2-D2, they go in. They basically tell Jabba that they have a message, and it turns out that the message is that Luke was basically giving the droids as a gift to Jabba, and C-3PO was very confused about this,
what? You never played Tuber Simulator?
No! Stop! Can you please stop with the Tuber Simulator? Okay, I know it's fun, right? I might get it at some point. Just stop. We're doing a PGP, not a whatever kind of video you think we're making.
Alright.
Anyway, C-3PO and R2-D2, they basically get enslaved by Jabba, and then they're kind of doing stuff with C-3PO being Jabba's personal servant thing.
Mm-hmm.
And then, eventually, we see, what do we see? We see them going through, the tunnels in the house, and then we cut to, some singers and performers performing for Jabba the Hutt. And this scene, they perform, a song, and it's a bit cringy. And the CGI models, they perform to the camera, they break the fourth wall, and, it's ridiculous, and honestly,
yeah,
probably, the worst part of the original trilogy for me.
But it's pretty weird.
Yeah, but the thing is, this scene is only like this in the special editions. In the original versions, not only were the performers, they were puppets, they weren't CGI models, but it was a different song.
Yeah,
it was a different song in the original version, and it was much better. And I don't know why they changed it. They changed the song, the original version of the song. That was it's not anywhere in the special edition version thing.
Yep.
So, but anyway, that scene only lasts a minute, and it's at least good for a laugh, I guess.
And then basically, Jabba's just opens a trapdoor, and the girl who's dancing falls down, and big monster.
Yeah.
Because it's Star Wars. It's not a Star Wars movie without a big monster.
Of course. So anyway, then eventually Luke Skywalker comes in, and basically now he is a fully trained Jedi, I guess. In between episodes 5 and 6, he kind of trained himself, and he became very skilled with the Force, and he could use the Jedi mind tricks on one of Jabba's servants, no problem. What?
And he got a new lightsaber.
And he got a new light. Well, he built his own lightsaber, apparently.
And now
anyway.
he's wearing black robes instead of tan for some reason. Which I guess I like how he did that, because it's like his father also wore black robes. Anakin did.
Right. So, anyway.
Is that like just a thing with the Chosen One? Because like, just
I don't know.
I feel like only both Chosen Ones, quote unquote, have worn black robes.
Well, I don't know. Maybe that is a thing.
Rey is not the Chosen One. I don't care what you say. Rey is not the Chosen One.
Kenny, we're not talking about those movies. We're talking about the good ones.
I know. I'm just mentioning Rey is not the Chosen One. I have to say that for some reason, even though she's clearly not the Chosen One.
Anyway, that tangent out of the way. Luke comes in. He Jedi mind tricks one of Jabba's servants to let him in, and then Jabba's kind of mad about that. And the Jedi mind tricks they don't work on Jabba because he's not weak-minded apparently.
Yeah. So then Jabba realizes, he's standing right on my trap door. So
so then,
by the way, that's a bit of foreshadowing for the PGP.
Right. So then Luke he goes down into the trapdoor, and then he fights the creature that's inside. He doesn't have his lightsaber yet, but he uses some rocks to end the gates to like successfully kill it. And also Leia's there. Leia came in also, and
basically Leia goes. She
rescues Han. She rescues Han, and then he gets caught.
Can't see everything.
Yeah.
And then curtain goes up, literally, and the Jabba's knew about them, so they get captured. Yada yada yada. He brings them onto his sail barge, and they go out into the middle of the desert so that he can feed them to this thing called a what's it called? Sarlacc.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, surprise, surprise! They have a plan to escape, and R2-D2 and Lando are helping them. By the way, Lando's there. He's disguised as one of the guards.
Right.
So basically, when it's Luke's turn to walk the plank, literally, R2-D2 just shoots his lightsaber into the air, and Luke does a flip and catches it and kills one of the Jabba's guards. And basically, huge fight scene. And we don't need to go into too much detail with that, but basically, most important things that happen is, Boba Fett gets stuck in the Sarlacc pit, but eventually escapes.
Yeah, and Jabba gets choked by a chain that.
No, Leia chokes Jabba.
Yeah, with a chain.
With a chain.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say here. But anyway, Jabba dies, Boba Fett dies, and the whole fight scene. It's good. It's good, and I also really like how Jabba looks. In this movie, here they actually used a big puppet thing with a bunch of people inside controlling it, and I think it looks really well. Midgets.
There were midgets inside. Three
Okay.
midgets.
Okay.
Controlling Jabba.
Okay.
And a bunch of SFX people.
Right. So anyway, Jabba looks really good in this movie. I think this is the best looking version of Jabba the Hutt in Star Wars.
I said that right? Hold on.
What did you say right?
SFX. Special effects, yeah. I thought that meant sound effects. No, I was right the first time. Whatever. Okay. Go on.
So anyway, then Luke goes back to the Dagobah system to apparently finish his training with Yoda, even though he's been training himself for a year, and he is essentially a very skilled Jedi Knight at this point. But anyway, Yoda is in his house, and he's dying because he's really old. He's 900 years old in this movie apparently, and eventually Yoda confirms that Darth Vader is in fact Luke's father, And
Luke just becomes partly an edgy teenager, and he's just like, "Why didn't you tell me, Ben?"
Yeah, that's that. He says that to Obi-Wan / Ben, and
he's
then
just
Obi-Wan talks about how, from a certain point of view, Anakin Skywalker was the Jedi, and then he was consumed by Darth Vader. So in a sense, Darth Vader did kill Luke's
No,
father.
he is speaking truth, because here's the thing: when in the scene in Episode 3 where Darth Vader's having his mask put on, you hear Anakin stop breathing before the mask is being put on for several seconds, and then once the mask is on, he resumes breathing, but it's Darth Vader's breath, like,
Yeah.
So in a way, yeah, Darth Vader did kill Anakin.
Well, kind of. Well, they are technically the same person, but I guess Anakin is how he was before he was consumed by the dark side of the Force, and Darth Vader is how he is after. So yeah, I do think that it probably would have been beneficial if Obi-Wan actually did tell Luke beforehand, but then he goes on about how, he needs to kill Darth Vader, and Luke is like, I can't kill my father, and then Obi-Wan is like, then the last hope is gone. So I guess what Obi-Wan's goal was when he didn't tell Luke that Darth Vader was his father is that, like, he wanted Luke to actually kill his father without knowing that that's his father, just, for the greater good of the galaxy.
Oh,
so,
no. Artemi, the FaceTime thing is happening again. Oh, no.
Just ignore it.
Oh, God. I hope they don't call me. But, yeah. Sorry, guys. Basically, everyone in our school basically has been FaceTiming at the same time. Like, since Thursday.
Yeah.
Well, depends on which Thursday. We might upload this, 2 weeks after we're recording. We're recording this on January 31st.
Okay.
But, yeah.
Anyway, I turned on Do Not Disturb on my phone, so...
Yeah, I just did.
Anyway, back to the movie. What was I saying? Oh, yeah. So, in a sense, Obi-Wan and, the Jedi, they're not exactly these super good people. They basically tried to trick Luke into killing his father, so,
I can see through the lies of the Jedi.
Yeah, so, in a sense, the Jedi, they aren't always these really good people. Sometimes they do things that are a little bit, bad, like that.
Questionable.
Yeah, they are a little bit questionable, and, yeah. Anyway, after that happens, then Luke figures out that Leia is his sister, so that's some pretty cool information. Then, what?
They keep FaceTiming me. They keep calling me.
Do not disturb. It's not.
It is on.
Okay. Just relax.
Okay. All right, go on. Hurry.
Okay. Anyway, so they find out that Leia is Luke's sister, so, we already know that if you watch Episode 3, so no surprise there unless you're watching the movie before you watch the prequels. So anyway, Luke kind of still senses that there's still good inside his father, so then he meets up with the rest of the Rebel Force, and they figure out that they need to destroy a shield generator on Endor. There's a shield protecting the Death Star, and they need to go destroy it. There's a shield generator on Endor, so they go there. Right, there's a bit of a battle between them and the stormtroopers with some speeder bike chases, and then Leia gets separated from the group, and she meets up with the some creatures that are a thing in this movie. They're called Ewoks. They're basically like puppet teddy bear things, but they can fight. They have weapons and stuff. So, Kenny, are you there?
Yeah.
Okay.
You've just been. I don't wanna disrupt your vibe.
Okay.
You've just been vibing.
All right. Anyway, then they go. Everyone goes looking for Leia, and then they fall into a trap that was set by the Ewoks. Basically, Chewie finds some meat on a stick, and then he basically starts thinking with his stomach, as Han pointed out. And then they get caught, and yeah. And then once they escape the trap, the Ewoks see 3PO, and apparently they view him as some sort of god.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Sorry, I don't know why I said oh yeah.
Okay. So anyway,
Oh my god.
at that point, the Ewoks basically take Luke, Han, and Chewie, and they basically start cooking them on a fire. Meanwhile, Luke tries to basically talk C-3PO through how to like stop them, and then when the Ewoks don't listen, basically Luke starts using the Force to like carry C-3PO around, and that somehow gets the Ewoks to stop. I guess I don't know. So they stop and they meet up with Leia again, and then like they're partying and everything, but Luke, he's not exactly happy about everything.
No.
And Leia notices this, so she goes and talks with Luke, and at some point Luke reveals that Darth Vader is his father and that Leia is his sister.
And then she's totally like, "What? You never played
No.
Simulator."
No, what actually happens is that Leia kind of says that somehow she's always known this, kind of, but then and then basically Luke says that he needs to leave because that Darth Vader can kind of sense his presence with the Force and everything. So so he leaves, and yeah, at that point Luke kind of gets himself caught by some stormtroopers, and they take him to Darth Vader, where Luke starts talking to him that that he was Anakin Skywalker, that he's not all bad, and Darth Vader's like, that name means nothing to me now, and yeah. And Luke still sees the good inside of him, but Darth Vader just simply doesn't. So they go to they walk to the Emperor, who is sitting there on a chair, and then
how come does he take his chair with him everywhere? Because he's sitting in like the same chair in every movie. Like ever since he was in the prequels, he's been sitting in the same chair.
I don't know, maybe he just has a special attachment to that chair,
Just like PewDiePie has an attachment to his chair. But can you do this? I don't think the Emperor can do that.
Internal cringe intensifies.
Also, why isn't the Emperor sitting in his chair in, spoiler alert, Episode 9? Because, seriously...
No, we're not talking about that. We're not talking about the...
I'm pointing out why it's bad, because the Emperor isn't sitting in his chair.
And now you're spoiling a new movie. Thanks, Kenny.
What? You've already seen it. I said spoiler alert.
It doesn't matter. That people are still... You know what?
Okay, so what? I spoiled the first 10 minutes of the movie.
Okay. Okay, fine. You know what? Okay. So anyway, they talk. The Emperor basically talks about how it was like how he wants Luke to turn to the dark side, and he's like constantly trying to convince him that the rebels are losing, and it's his destiny and all that. Meanwhile, the other rebels they're like trying to get to the shield generator.
And then the Death Star goes pew, and the rebel ship goes boom, and then Admiral Akbar is just like, that Death Star's operational. It's a trap.
Yep, it's a trap. So anyway,
it's a trap, Russell. It's a trap. Sorry, Russell's sitting next to me. He always sits next to me whenever we record.
Anyway, what was I gonna say? Oh yeah, on Endor, Leia, Han, Chewie, and the Ewoks, they basically start an attack on the shield generator. There's like a bunch of stormtroopers and like stuff there, and the Ewoks, they're like using stuff from their environment to kind of fight them. It gets
Like
a
the
little
giant
ridiculous
mobs.
at times, but for the most part, it works. You know.
And the speeder chase was insane.
Yeah, it was.
Oh.
That whole battle. It was done very well.
Yeah.
But anyway, then like they find a way inside of the base, and you know they get kind of ambushed by more troops, by more Imperial troops, and yeah. So meanwhile, the Emperor is still trying to like convince Luke to join the dark side, to like get Luke very angry and start attacking him, which, you know, that's exactly what the Emperor wants. He wants Luke to start attacking him because, you know, he knows what will happen. And yeah. Right, so the whole battle, there's not really much to say. It's fun to watch, but it's just not much to talk about.
It's basically just Luke hiding, like, from trying to stay, like, playing hide and seek with Darth Vader.
No, you're talking about the lightsaber fight. We're not there yet. I'm talking about the fight on Endor.
Yeah, not much to say about it. It's
So
pretty cool.
then eventually, Luke does give in to anger slightly and starts attacking the Emperor with his lightsaber, and then the lightsaber fight between Luke and Darth Vader happens, and like it's a pretty good fight,
Yeah,
I think,
okay.
and like a lot of the time, you know, Luke is kind of trying to hide, and they're kind of Darth Vader and the Emperor are using Luke's anger to their advantage. Like they want Luke to come out and fight, and like, yeah. Eventually, Luke gets to the point where he's kind of just using his anger to like constantly beat Darth Vader with the lightsaber until it finally cuts off Darth Vader's arm. And then Luke looks at it and he's like, he sees that it's like
mechanical.
Yeah, it's like mechanical. And then he looks at his own hand that's also mechanical, and he realizes that like the same sort of thing happened to his father. And that's when he stops and realizes that, hold up, he's about to kill his own father, you know. So he kind of throws his lightsaber to the side, and the Emperor doesn't like that. So basically, then he
Force lightning,
and
Vader just gets in the way and pushes the Emperor off.
Yeah.
The hole.
Well, before that, it's like it's not as quick as that. Like, he kind of tortures Luke for a few minutes. Then then he actually.
We don't need to go into that. But yeah,
then Darth Vader's like, no, and then throws the Emperor down the shaft.
Yeah, but
again,
basically,
Darth Vader yells no. No one cared in Return of the Jedi. Then Revenge of the Sith, same thing happened, and then everyone starts being, oh no, this Darth Vader, no. What?
Video's getting too long.
So anyway, the rebels, they finally get the shield generator deactivated. They blow up the Death Star. Everything's all good, and Darth Vader is like turned to the good side again.
Yeah.
So then, you know, Luke,
also
opens Darth Vader's helmet so that Anakin can look at his son with his own eyes.
Also, when Luke takes his helmet off, Darth Vader stops breathing for a second, and then when the helmet's fully off, he resumes breathing as Anakin.
Okay. So anyway, then Anakin dies, and Luke goes back to Endor. Meanwhile, the Death Star is exploding. So then we get the scene that's like the ending scene for the original trilogy. First, we see Luke burning Darth Vader's suit, or maybe that's Darth Vader's suit is like burning in a fire.
Yeah.
And yeah. Then we see all these shots of Tatooine and Cloud City, and then we also see Naboo and Coruscant from the prequels, which that's pretty cool. And meanwhile, the song that plays here, it's also really good. Like, it's a very calm, relaxing, sort of a bittersweet type of thing. But then we see like the rebels and the Ewoks also celebrating on Endor, and that's a nice scene. And then we see Luke looking at Obi-Wan, Yoda, and Anakin's Force Ghost, and Anakin here is actually played by Hayden Christensen. In the original version, he wasn't played by Hayden Christensen because the prequels weren't a thing at the time. But yeah, and also another thing. This is another part of the movie where they changed the song in the special edition version. Like in the original version, it's like a very kind of upbeat Ewok singing thing. I don't know how to describe it, but it's like more happy and stuff. But whereas it's like
we don't need to go into that though.
Yeah, but anyway, I kind of prefer how the special edition song in this case did the ending scene. Like,
talk about songs,
Kenny. The last part of the movie, the last thing I gotta mention before we wrap it up.
Fine.
Okay, so anyway, the original song, it kind of feels like a good ending to the original trilogy, but the special edition song, it's like an ending to the 6-movie saga as a whole, and yeah, it ends on a happy note, and that's pretty much it. Anyway, Return of the Jedi, great movie, a very good conclusion to the 6-movie saga, and you know, watching them in chronological order, it makes the conclusion here a lot more satisfying, given how Anakin is turned back to the good side again, kind of. Yeah. So, what are your thoughts, Kenny?
Oh yeah, pretty good movie. But not the best. Best is Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith, of course. But anyway, that's gonna do it for this video, guys. Let us know what else you want us to talk about down in the comments below. We're gonna be releasing a new series of PGP left, because obviously this is the last one. We're gonna make some special episodes for Star Wars, and then we're gonna talk about something else, which you'll see about in the future. But yeah, keep up on the high ground.
Bye.